Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a story about a mother who's fiercely protective of her daughter and finds herself in a bizarre and unsettling situation involving the child's father. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. My daughter's father wants to use her as therapy for his wife. I, 33-year-old female, going to preface this by saying my 6-year-old daughter's father, 37-year-old male, I'm going to call him Jeff, has never been my romantic partner. We had a one-night stand. I don't like people calling him my ex since it makes it seem like we had some kind of emotional attachment. He was never involved after I told him I was pregnant and actually wanted me to terminate the pregnancy, but I decided to raise my child alone since I have enough money to raise her without child support. For the whole pregnancy and the first 4 years, Jeff was not in the picture. On my mother's recommendation, I did send him pictures and invited him to special events, but he always replied he had no interest in my daughter. 2 years ago, he reappeared and began demanding parental rights. When I didn't do what he wanted, he sued and was told no, he was not getting parental rights. He was given the offer to pay child support, and then we can revisit giving him actual rights, but he's refused. He has the money, much more than me, but he refuses. I still offered to let him see my daughter in a casual manner. No child support needed, with the agreement anything legal, medical, or educational will not involve him. He pushed the boundaries, and we had a fallout. After that, we didn't hear from him for almost 6 weeks before he called to meet for Christmas. After much discussion, I agreed to bring my daughter over on the condition my daughter's godparents could come. Thus, we went over for Christmas dinner. And finding out Jeff is married and had never told his family he had a child. It was great to be judged by a bunch of strangers. It was uncomfortable the whole time. I'm going to use fake names, but let's say my daughter's name is Katie. His wife kept calling my daughter Gabrielle. Not the actual name she used, but it was that different to my daughter's name. The wife was also very physical, trying to pick up my daughter or parent her. I would block her and tell her to please let me deal with my child. The whole time she pretty much ignored me, but Katie didn't seem nervous, so I decided to just bide my time. I hit my limit when my daughter said she needed the bathroom, and this stranger went, "Oh, Gabby, you need potty? Let mommy change you." My daughter hasn't worn diapers in a while now, and she's more than capable of going alone to the bathroom. I immediately told her to stay away from my daughter and that we were leaving. The woman started wailing that I was kidnapping her baby girl and tried to lunge at me. Her in-laws got in the middle and held her, consoling her and saying that we weren't leaving and for her to calm down like she was the victim. At that point, I just glared at Jeff and told him he better explain or I'd be calling the police. He asked to speak to me in private in another room and that I could just leave my daughter with his parents. No way would that ever happen. Katie's godparents took her with them despite the wife having a full meltdown. Jeff and I spoke outside and he explained that he and his wife recently lost a daughter. I'm not going to give specific details on that. All I'll say is it was sudden and nobody's fault. And as I can only imagine, it had caused some psychological issues to his wife. Apparently, he had the brilliant idea that having Katie pass as their lost child would help his wife, without telling me. And that's why he wanted visitations and parental rights. He pleaded for me to leave my daughter with them for a little bit. I asked him what was his plan when his wife heals. His response was disgusting. "Well, I'll just send Katie back with you and it'll be just like before." I told him he was insane if he thought I would let him use my daughter like that. What his wife needs is therapy with a professional, not feeding her delusions. And I would not let that woman within miles of my daughter. He told me I was being cruel and didn't know the pain of losing a child. I agreed with him, but reminded Jeff that my priority is not his family, it's my child. What he and his family do to work through their grief has nothing to do with us. I also told him to call his lawyer because I'm making sure he never has contact with my child. So that's what I'm bracing for. He's been blasting my phone since Christmas, but I can easily ignore him. My daughter and I are doing a small travel vacation. This isn't an update, just something I feel needs to be said. My daughter's set for life monetarily. She has a trust, and I make really good money in my position. If she was 18 right now, I could put her through college without a loan. She doesn't need child support for quality of life. If I could get child support and never worry about her father trying something, I would be suing him in a heartbeat. But after talking to a lawyer and realizing the risk, I've taken the decision that child support or possible inheritance is not worth my child's safety. Safety is always first. I feel like the judge needs to know what his original goal was in asking for his parental rights. He's just interested in using your child as a disposable prop and has no interest in what being called Gabrielle for however long it takes to fix his wife would take. And our second story. Friend wants me to pay for his guitar lessons so he can learn, teach me, and charge me for it like a professional. This happened a couple of years ago, but it still makes me angry because this dude keeps sending me friend requests on Facebook. So when I was in college, I took a music elective and met this guy, the CB, who was studying music and had started to play the guitar. It was his first semester, so he was just starting to learn. I was also interested in learning to play guitar, but didn't have the money to take the classes, and guitar lessons in college prioritized music students. We became friends and talked after classes, even a couple of times went to have lunch during breaks, and were generally getting along. We negotiated guitar lessons, but never went through them because he didn't have the time for them and also wanted to charge me as a professional. One day he called me up and asked me if I could help him with a class project that required him to make a video out of several videos he could find on YouTube. He said since he was going to teach me how to play, I should consider this as a way to pay him for it. Mind you, until that moment, we had had 0 classes so far, but I still agreed. It sounded easy enough, and I had taken video editing classes before. We met up the following day at his request because it had to be ASAP and went to a computer room. Sorry if this is not how you call it. English is not my first language. Inside campus. We only asked for one computer and sat there for at least 30 to 50 minutes while I explained to him how to download videos from YouTube and how to use a video editing program that he could find in any computer he borrowed from campus. It was a very specific explanation, and I had asked him to take notes a couple times, but he never did. After I'm finally done with the explanation, he looks at me a little annoyed and says, "This is awkward, but when I asked for help, I was hoping you would actually do the whole project for me. I can send you the links to the videos and the text that should go on the video." Me: "So you want me to do your entire homework?" Look, I'd love to be able to do that, but it's finals week. I really don't have the time. CB: "Yeah, but you said it was really easy and simple to do it. It won't take you too long, while it'll take me hours until I find on Google how to do everything." Me: "I just explained to you how to do everything. Plus, if it's supposed to be a music class, you can tell the teacher you do not know how to edit videos and shouldn't be required to do so in a classic guitar class." CB: "Okay, let me call the teacher right now and tell her that maybe you're right." I have no idea why he even tried to do this. He calls said teacher right there, but the conversation went really weird. Sadly, I don't remember it exactly, but I do recall him saying like, "Yeah, I just started it and it should be done by noon." It prompted me to ask him if she was actually his teacher. He goes on to explain that she is in fact his teacher, but from the music academy he attends after college to improve his guitar skills. Me: "How odd they would ask for a video project then." CB: "Well, it's more like a commercial. I told them I knew how to edit videos, and they said that if I made them a commercial for social media, they would let me take free lessons for 6 months. Isn't that great?" So this guy had the nerve to try to hire me as his free video editor for free guitar lessons for him, and when I confronted him about it, he said he had already promised to do it, plus depending on the outcome, they might hire him for more videos, and he would eventually be good enough to teach me and charge me the fair rate of a professional guitar player. Clearly, I declined his kind offer. LOL. It's fair to say never take lessons from a beginner, and if a beginner's trying to teach you, it should be free. And our last story. You won't like trespassing on someone else's property. Backstory. My parents are rich. But don't worry, I'm not one of those spoiled rich kid types. We live in Arizona near the border with California. This is a mostly white and Hispanic community, and other races aren't really as common here, so we do our best to be hospitable to them. Also, there's a court case on this, so I'm not using real names because of some law. Actual story. A nice couple moved in a few months back, and they're really nice. They always helped out in the community. They were all around nice people. They also threw really nice pool parties for everyone in the neighborhood. We had this thing where every 2 weeks or so, we'd all get together for a party. They had a really nice yard, so everyone looked forward to their turn. The husband traveled for work quite often, and his wife always wanted to go with, so they needed someone to watch their house while they were gone. They knew me, and I was trying to save up for a car. My parents offered to buy me one, but I wanted to earn it myself. This was how the next few months passed. Enter the entitled family. The father was kind of entitled, but after interacting with him a few times after this, I realized he's a pretty chill dude and just goes along with whatever his wife says. When they first arrived, they got on everyone's nerves by calling the HOA on almost every house on the block. Their kids, who were teenagers, are even worse. Rarely were they invited to the parties. For this reason, they were constantly sneaking into people's yards to play. They didn't have much of a yard, they were always caught, and the police were called several times, but they always worked their way out of it. I have no idea how. Anyway, the nice couple from before called me and said they were leaving in a few days and would be gone for 3 days. I accepted, and the first day went smoothly. As I was cleaning the house the second morning, I noticed the backyard was all messed up, but I distinctly remembered cleaning it up the night before. I checked the security cameras, and it turns out the couple and their kids went into the yard after I went to bed. I don't think they knew I was there. The nice couple would be gone for another day, so I had the great idea to dump an excessive amount of chlorine in the water. For those who don't know, pool chlorine is a toxic chemical used to treat pools with algae. The effects don't last long, but it gets the job done. I assumed the entitled mom and company would return that day, and if they didn't, the chlorine would be gone by the time the nice couple would get back, so no harm done. I was right. Around 2 in the afternoon, I see the parents boosting their kids over the gate, then climbing over themselves. They were really hyped up about being able to do whatever they wanted, and all of them but the father just jumped right in. Splash! Instantly, they were all screaming in pain. Chlorine causes rapid hair and skin degeneration, so I knew they wouldn't be coming back anytime soon. I burst out laughing, loud enough for them to hear outside, and their bright red faces suddenly paled. They all booked it out of there so fast they should have tried to join the Olympic track team. The police were called, and I don't know by who. They arrived a little after the nice couple got back. The couple asked why I was laughing, and I showed them the security footage and told them what I'd done. Pretty soon, they were laughing right along with me. The police arrive at the house, and I repeat the process. They don't laugh, but have a hard time holding it in. They go over to the house and question the entitled family. They lie their butts off, even though the cops can see the chlorine effects all over them. They ask if the nice couple wants to press charges, and the guy grins and says, absolutely. In the end, the entitled family was kicked out of the neighborhood, as the longer they are there, the more of a neighborhood menace they are. They won't learn their lessons, and a court case will hopefully bring them back to a true reality. So they didn't melt? I thought witches melted in water. Hey guys, thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.